Come and ask Stu afterwards if you want, or ask Nick and I and we can pass it on, or just get a message sent, anything like that. Cool? Let's start with the next class.
I'm going to ask you guys a lot of questions anyway that should hopefully engage you all. Like, the more you guys kind of engage in this, the better. But I'll give some examples of myself as well. I'm not some psychologist and played sport before, so a lot of this is, what I'll talk about is theoretical, but it's also a lot of stuff that I've experienced too growing up through sport. So yeah, I'm Stu. I'm a provisional psychologist, which means I'm doing a master's degree at the moment. So I'm almost finished, and will be a clinical psychologist after that. I'm also own a CrossFit gym, a CrossFit style gym that I've had for about 11 years. So I've been coaching in fitness and that sort of area for a long time, adults and kids. I have another degree in sport development, which is something more Darren would be keen on. And grew up playing mainly footy, Aussie rules footy my whole life. Usually play a little bit of rep basketball with him on a Tuesday, and we don't win very often. I'm really bad. I thought my skills in footy would transfer well, but they don't. I can run, that's fine. I can defend, but I foul people all the time. What we'll chat about today is mindset. In particular, it's what's called the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Has anyone heard of that before? You guys do this in school a little bit? Is it predominantly like a school setting though? Like the school work and stuff? Any other settings? No. It's school, yeah, cool. That's good. Do you know, I was actually speaking to someone even today who's a bit younger than me. I'm 34 by the way, so I'm not that old, but I'm older than you guys, so I'm old to you. I remember when I was your age and someone 34, I was like, fuck, that's old. Someone at uni, she's in her early 20s, and she said that at school they do fixed and growth mindset, and I was so pumped because I didn't get that in school. It was very fixed. So someone tell me, anyone can tell me what that means?
A fixed mindset is when you're not open to any new ideas and you just stuck.
Yeah, we'll stay on fixed for a bit. Anyone else?
The group is when you want to learn, want to get better.
Yeah. Anyone got anything else on that? That kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Huh? Did you hang up? No, he's still mine.
Oh, so yeah, we'll start with, so the theory is there's sort of two kinds of mindset, and I think it's pretty fluid though. I think depending on what you're involved in, or even how you're feeling, it can change between being fixed or being growth. I think a lot of time if you're feeling a bit low or a bit unsure of yourself, sometimes you can sort of go into that fixed thinking. Sometimes it might be really good at something, you're confident, something, you got a little bit more growth, but often people sort of lean towards one way, and that can be like, upbringing, the way you're taught, the way you're coached, personality, all sorts of things kind of might lead you one way or the other. A lot of things that you hear when you're a child, whether it's from parents or television or anything, it could really come from anywhere that might sort of kind of influence the way you think. But yeah, sort of, I guess in a fixed mindset, I've got notes, I'll read it so I don't miss anything, because I think it's pretty important to just cover it, sort of the definition. So a fixed mindset, it's where people sort of believe that their abilities, your intelligence, your talents, they're all fixed. Like they can't really be changed. Like if you're talented, you're talented. If you're not talented, you're not. Yeah, we can think of that in a basketball setting. So it can't really be changed or developed too much. Maybe like just with time as you get older, you get better kind of naturally because you're talented. Yeah. People tend to view challenges or setbacks and criticism as like kind of reflections of what you're not good at, your limitations. So something, let's put it into a basketball setting. If you miss your free throws, you kind of go, well, of course I miss my free throws. I'm not a good free throw shooter. Yeah, and I'm probably not going to be a better free throw shooter. Does that make sense? Yeah. Whereas, we'll go to growth mindset. And as a result, people often avoid those challenges. So you start avoiding doing free throws. You sort of find a way out of that. Or you give up easily. So you don't put the same effort into a free throw, or you don't practice it. Or you sort of become a bit defensive when people challenge you on that sort of thing. Yeah. Hands up if you've ever had that sort of feeling. It doesn't have to be free throws, but had that kind of feeling of something. Yeah, we all have. Yeah, and then sometimes it's like that it's like a limiting belief. You kind of go, well, I'll put in my setting in a footy setting. I was never the best kick. And whenever I did a shit kick and someone said something, I was like, well, yeah, I know, because I'm not a good kick. So it was kind of an out for me. I was like, oh, well, it's not as painful because I just use it as an excuse. Well, you guys will know that I'm not a good kick, so therefore it doesn't matter if I do a bad kick. That's a fixed mindset. Yeah. Growth mindset is, belief that your abilities and talents can be developed through effort, and effort's probably the key word. So, putting in the effort, doing the work, as well as learning and persistence in that is going to develop your skills, your talents. Anything. It could be basketball, could be football, could be school, could be the way you think about anything. Yeah, it could be sort of defeating thoughts, anything. So with the growth mindset, we embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. We see setbacks as temporary setbacks, so whether that's feedback or losing a game or missing the free throw or any of those things as temporary, it's sort of just in the moment. And we sort of use those opportunities to learn. Quickly on that, when you win a game, what do you learn when you win a game? It's kind of hard to answer, isn't it? It's like, I'll just do that again. What do you learn when you lose a game?
What you need to work on, where you fall on.
Yeah. It's pretty general. Anything else? What about defense? You have to learn what went wrong in defense. Yeah. And then attack. Think about maybe what things went wrong there. Yeah. Work rate, effort, things like that. It's very easy to see those things when you sort of hit those challenges, and so like Darren was just saying, we've had a few losses that we shouldn't have lost recently. That sucks, and we can feel sad about that. Fixed mindset will sort of put us in our shells and go, oh crap, well maybe we're not as good as we think we are. Maybe these teams are better than us. Maybe my shooting is poor. Growth mindset's like, okay, what things went wrong? What things can I improve on? What things can we talk about as a team to sort of improve that? Before I move on, after having those few losses, can anyone just reflect what that, if any of that kind of resonated, or you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, because after you lose, your confidence goes down a bit, and then you don't expect to win as much.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to say words? Does anyone agree with that? Yeah. Who's lost and gone, and some doubts have come into your head about your abilities? Yeah. Or if your team's good or not? Yeah. With a growth mindset, where in that kind of situation, rather than going, oh, I'm not good, and we all have that moment. Sometimes it could last a long time, but in a growth mindset, we might take it for a minute and go, all right, taking the hit, cool, let's move on, and we'll start to seek out feedback, whether it's through our coaches or through each other or whatever. We continue to take risks, if that's the game plan. People shy away from the game plan when things start going wrong. We're in that fixed mindset. Where if the coach is like, well, this is the game plan, and if you stuff it up or not, it's still the game plan, so let's continue with the plan. It's going to be the way that you're going to sort of improve on it. We persist in the face of obstacles, so not dropping our heads, continuing on. Whether the result ends up being a bad one or not, you still work on, those fundamentals and those things that we work on. And as a result of that, we build better resilience. We get success in the long term. I guess another good way to think of it as well is fixed mindset is very outcome focused, and growth mindset is very process focused. Not you, anyone else. Does anyone know what that might mean? Start with outcome focus. You can get it wrong, it's okay. This is like a fixed growth mindset kind of situation right now. If you get it wrong, it's okay, because someone else might also be thinking the same thing, and you guys are all going to grow when someone else kind of types it and gives a good answer. What's the outcome?
The result.
Yeah, bang. The result. Cool. So we're focusing on the result. How much control over the result do we have? Kind of the opposite. Yeah, we don't have a lot of control over the final score. In that, at the end of the game, do we? That's in the future. Yeah. Process or that focus is what we're doing right now. So whether it's like the shot or whether it's you're in defense and you've got to set up, or what happens when you rebound, or getting a steal and then setting up into attack for that process stuff. If we focus on those things are going to lead to more scoring. Yeah. Whereas if we start looking at the scoreboard and thinking, oh no, the score's not where it should be, outcome, that's not where it should be, that's when it sort of puts us back in that shell again. Yeah. Has anyone felt that before? You start looking at the scoreboard and freak out a little bit? Yeah, we all have. Yeah. Okay, well let's do an example. I sort of gave you my one. I would love for you guys to engage a little bit here. An example of a situation where you felt like you've had a fixed mindset. Yeah, mine is footy. I all through juniors and that thought I just did some average kicking. I think someone had said to me, "Oh, you're not a great kick," and that just like confirmed my belief, and that led to me going, well, I probably didn't work on my kicking as much as I should have, probably because of that belief. Yeah, and because if I put all the work into that belief, if I put all the work into my kicking and I was still a shit kick, that's going to sort of confirm that even more and make me feel more worse about it. That's a fixed mindset. Yeah. Whereas if I just went, I'm just going to work on my kicking no matter the outcome and just continue on the skill, then I could have been a great kick and who knows what would have happened. Probably still not the top level, but give you guys a second, just think of some situation, and please, it's important to share, because whatever you share, he's probably thought the same thing, and whatever you've shared, he's thought the same thing. So when we have this kind of group work, it lifts the whole side. It's good for the whole team.
Current shoot well.
Yep. Yeah. So what happens when you're not making shots?
I just like to drive more and pass off instead of trying to shoot and hoping to lead.
Yeah. So you don't shoot as often when you're missing.
No.
Yeah. And what's that feel like when you start missing it again?
Kind of like you're letting the team down a bit because you passed it off to someone else and they would have made it. You took like a bad shot and you could have passed it instead.
Yeah. Are there any thoughts that come through your head when that happens too?
Not while I'm playing, but once you get stopped off and it's happened after, you start thinking about what happened.
Yeah. What do you often think? That
I should have passed it there, or this person was open and I could have done this or that, but it's already too late.
Yeah, cool. Good. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else got a?
I think everyone's got one.
Everyone's got one. I don't have to go for everyone, but
And if someone doesn't have one, I can help you
yeah,
out.
sure. I'm just picking out. Yeah. So this is not necessarily a moment where you fail. It's a moment where that fixed mindset's coming. Everyone understands the fixed mindset from my rambling. That's very cool. Anyone? Yeah.
So when I miss, I overthink it too much.
Yeah.
If I miss one shot, I just won't shoot again.
Yeah.
So I'll just think I'll miss again.
Yeah. So similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm going to point this out soon.
Everyone's got one. I'm going to go through everyone here.
Okay.
If anyone needs a hand, you can whisper to me.
What about when you watch the video afterwards and you've looked at the video and then you've questioned it when you're seeing it from that side? And you've questioned what you've done when you're watching that video after the game?
Do you want to go?
Missing really easy shots.
Yeah.
That shooting quickly.
Yeah.
You have a high chance of losing.
Yeah. What do you tell yourself anything when that happens?
I try fix it usually.
Yeah. How do you fix it?
By focusing on it.
Yeah.
Changing it.
Yeah. So do you keep shooting?
I don't really shoot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that best.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you get opportunities to shoot? Do you know those shots? Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Normally do it in defense.
Yeah. So what happens there? Yeah. Okay. So you try that with someone else. Yeah. And what are you telling yourself in that situation? What's that sort of belief?
I'll play defense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Cool. That's a good one, thanks. Yeah.
Like turning the ball again.
Turning it over. Yeah. So like a fear of turning it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when you do turn it over?
Oh. You get quite frustrated.
Yeah.
And then like, should have, like someone else should have taken the ball
Yeah.
other than myself.
Yeah. Does it change your behaviour on the court?
Yeah.
What does it make you do?
Like, not dribble the ball up and like pass it someone else.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you play a bit more conservative than that when you're worried about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like when the refs do a bad call and when it's on you, I get frustrated
Yeah.
and like I don't really know how to explain it. But shush.
Yeah, let me talk.
Like that's a really bad call on you. You get frustrated and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just don't worry about it and
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Nice. Thanks. Yeah.
Put back.
Hey.
Not making a mistake on us.
So-
Put back. So
Yeah.
if there's the rebound, you get the rebound and like you throw it before you get the ground to try and get in. And it happened when I was in the game. I got 3 rebounds and put it back every single time and I've missed each one.
Yeah.
And then it just frustrated me so much.
Yeah. Did it make you work on that further, or did it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Do you have any sort of beliefs or fixed beliefs about it?
Players can't use an excuse. Like if it happens again, I just go, oh, it's because I'm bad at it. So,
Yeah, you say, yeah, we kind of say those things sometimes, especially say publicly, to your team, oh, I'm just out of that. And that kind of covers for your mistake, when there's only that mistake. Right?
My shooting,
Yeah,
I normally miss my shots, so I just need to pass it off.
yeah, yeah. Same as well, eh? What do you tell yourself in those situations?
Just look for something that's more open.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you do take a shot and miss it, what's the story in the end?
Passing next time.
Passing next time? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm a bit smaller than
Yeah.
like the opponents, but so I kind of worry about like who I have to guard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
about
I've always been short as well when I was playing sport. So if someone a bit taller than you beats you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is the voice like, well, of course I got beat, I'm short,
A little bit.
a little bit, or like, oh, that's expected,
Yeah.
or it's like an out even, hey, you're like, well, of course they're going to beat me, like it's fine because I'm the short guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the same thing. Okay, let's like flip that now. Let's go like a growth mindset, because I know at the same time a lot of people have like a growth side of things. That was pretty down and dumpy. So let's change it now. Are there situations, and you might not all have one this time, but are there situations where you've had that more growth minded, like if I work on this and just focus on the process, on doing the shots or doing the drills or doing the dribbling or doing whatever it is, if I focus on that, I'll get better. Yeah, you're nodding, you're going.
Yeah. After training, if I do something like that, I just go to my backyard and I practice my shooting even more.
Yeah,
So I just want to like perfect it,
yeah,
and like even if it takes like a couple hours, I'll still do it.
yeah.
It's like it just doesn't feel right if I don't.
You just keep doing it until it feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're nodding, is that similar? Yeah, what do you do? Put bigger shoes on. That's right, I'll leave you alone. Anyone else?
Like, I used to practice my handles a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was always like quick, but I could never really get around anyone.
Yeah.
So I'd just have to try and move past them. So then like, I'll practice one move and then add something else into it, and then you've got like a few things you can go to
Yeah.
pass someone.
So you're more confident now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to dribble the ball.
Yeah, cool. That's good, good. Yeah,
Like I used to be really bad at my football.
yeah,
And then I started like working on it and like focusing on the routine.
Yeah.
Through that.
so that process helped? Yeah, good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't jump as high as I should have, so I tried to work it out as much as I can. All my legs like so I can jump higher.
So you're working on that leg strength and power and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been helping.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good. Does everyone sort of see these differences? Yeah, yeah. So some of these things, you guys, you've just like demonstrated both sides of it. We've kind of got those both sides. Hey, it's all about us trying to lean towards that kind of growth side. So quickly, like anyone can answer this, how do you think having a growth mindset is going to affect your performance on the court?
You'll be like more happy to play and you're better, so take shots.
Yeah, more happy. That's cool. I like that. That's good. Being happy is pretty important playing a game, hey.
It just improves my confidence,
Yeah,
like heaps.
yeah, cool.
If you make a mistake, you're able to like reflect and recognize what you did wrong. So when you get in the same spot, you're able to fix it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone else there?
Having the ability to be more open-minded to play sport. If you make a mistake and you think, oh, I'll do this next time, you get a chance to do it.
Yeah. It's good to know, by doing this as a group, that everyone's got each other's backs on this as well. To know that when someone does make a mistake, we don't rip them for making a mistake, because we know that's, you're working on your free throws. So if you miss free throws, just get around him until he gets his free throws, and we keep working on that sort of stuff. Can you guys think of a time on the court where you did approach it with more of a growth mindset? This could go way back to any year or any game or anything where you had a more positive growth mindset and things come up good. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a tournament in Adelaide, and like before that, I told myself to like shoot more.
Yeah.
So I knew I could, and then that was like my best probably shooting performance
Yeah.
of like the whole season probably.
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, I just kept telling myself to shoot,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Yeah. So sort of like, so like that kind of like, I guess telling yourself to keep doing it was helping sort of like
Yeah,
get rid of that little voice.
Before
Hey?
that, I wasn't like the best shooter. I never really shot, but like when it came to this season, I just wanted to, and yeah, I just put my mind to it and it worked.
That's good. That's great. Unreal. Anyone else? A time when you've had that good mindset, that growth mindset, and it's helped you? In a game or whatever?
Like when I did my first 3v3, when it didn't really matter if you won or lose, and like it was easier, but it was like a good opportunity to learn how to get past bigger defenders, since everyone was like bigger than us.
Yeah.
So like when I was able to drive, I learned how to get past someone who was taller than me and already set up.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Awesome. So how do you guys think? So like let's, before we had this chat, lost a few games, probably feeling a bit crap, a little bit insecure, uncertain about a few things. If we approach training and practice, whether it's practice here, practice by yourself, whatever, how do you think your attitude in that towards training and practice and even games could change if we sort of really try our hardest to focus on that growth mindset?
You'll feel more capable and you'll try and do things that you haven't done before.
Yeah, just try stuff. Yeah. Alright.
like try new things, and then if it doesn't work, you'll be able to know why. And when you practice, you're able to like take in what went wrong or what went right, and then focus on that, and like use that to see how you can get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we have to approach everything with energy. So when we have energy, even on the bench, like we all play like really good.
Yeah.
Cause like, say someone gets like a layup, like we all stand up clapping.
Yeah.
I feel like that just makes the person more confident
Yeah,
and
yeah.
willing to take that shot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you know everyone's getting around you on the bench, when you know everyone on the court and everyone on the bench is getting around you, when it's your turn to do whatever you need to do, that gives you confidence.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you know they have your back.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes it's like real quiet on the bench and it's not a good like, energy and stuff. But like when we do approach games with energy, we most likely win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. It's all good stuff. Yeah, good stuff, guys. I'm liking you guys are, giving some stuff here now. Okay, cool. So we've sort of established that that's something we could possibly work on and approach. Doesn't mean it's always, there's defeating little thoughts are going to happen, but like you're saying, like if everyone on the sidelines and whatever is supporting you no matter what, attempts you make, and we all know that that's the way, the approach that we're making, then it does allow us to make mistakes, yeah? Is anyone here LeBron James by any chance? No? No? Nervous? Yeah. We're all teenagers, yeah? Yeah. Is anyone perfect at the game of basketball? No. Is anyone LeBron James? Is he even perfect at the game of basketball? No, he's not. No. No. You see a lot of those, like, there are really good, things out there, online to do with basketball. I love a lot of the stuff that you see on like TikTok and Instagram when it comes to like Michael Jordan and LeBron James and stuff like that, talking about the amount of shots that they missed and all that sort of stuff. It's just growth mindset. That's all it is. I think there's good quotes of Michael Jordan's like, what is that about the shots that you don't make?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, you miss 100% of shots you don't take. That's just growth mindset. Yeah, it's like you might as well take them. Yeah. Quickly, I want to just go on because I know you guys got some movement to do. Effort and talent, which is another growth mindset, fixed mindset related thing, and it's really important. And I want to talk about this because it should come from everywhere. It should come from you guys. It should come from you guys. It should come from you guys as well. It's about like one, putting in effort as opposed to like relying on talent, but also celebrating effort as opposed to like celebrating talent. Yeah. So, does anyone know what that means before I go ahead? Or you just want to leave it to me? I can take it. So, you can think of all those players or people out there in the world or whoever, or even in school or whatever level that you're like, God, they're talented. They're just like naturally good. Yeah. Often you see this in, like, I'll go back to a footy perspective, draft picks, top draft picks. You see in basketball too. There's a top 10. That whole top 10 is supposed to be elite and they're going to go the whole way. But there's always a few players in that top 10 that don't go past like 10 games. Does anyone see that? Yeah. Sometimes that's just because they don't fit that level of the sport. They're still very talented. But I think a lot of the time that comes down to like a mindset that they've let talent get get them through the whole way, and they're being told they're really good. You are so good. Oh God, your handles are good. Oh, your three throws are so good. If someone tells you you're really good at all those things all the time, what happens when you fail that? Like when you don't get a free throw and someone's told you that you're the best free thrower out there?
You think it's just like a fluke and it's not going to happen again,
Yeah.
instead of trying to fix
Yeah.
what went wrong.
Yeah.
It's like use it as like an excuse to like back it up. Like if someone compliments you, you basically just use it to your advantage.
Yeah, yeah. You see a lot of people in that situation, those ones that sort of disappear because everyone told them they were talented, is because it's like an identity crisis almost. It's like, I am the 3-point shooter, like that's me. And so if I start missing them and then everyone tells me I'm no good anymore, do I keep facing that challenge and showing up, or do I just run away and hide away? Yeah. And like, I'm not going to like speculate and say this is why I'm going to speculate. I'm not going to say this is true, but a really good example of this would be Ben Simmons when he was playing for Philadelphia. Everyone know that sort of story from about 5 years ago. Yeah. Kept missing all of his shots, and everyone started. It was horrible. Like, the whole team and the whole city was ragging on him for missing those shots. But it's pretty clear that's a really good example where I imagine he would have gone into a real fixed mindset and just shut down and just wanted to get away, rather than kind of going, well, actually, no, I'm one of the best players in this entire league. I can overcome this. He's shied away, and he's still not playing much. I know it's a back injury, but he's not the player he has ever been again. But in terms of effort and talent, so I got off on a bit of a tangent. Celebrating effort's really important as opposed to talent. Yeah, if we tell someone that they're really great at just the thing that they are and the thing that they do, when they do often fail, those beliefs can come in and go, well, maybe I'm not the 3-point shooter anymore, or maybe I'm not the guard that I thought I was, or maybe I'm not any of those things. And then that could really cause that person to go away. Whereas if we celebrate the effort that person puts in, so instead of like, you're a great 3-point shooter, we say, your 3 shots are going up so well tonight, like you must have been working really hard on them. And then that person might say, yeah, I have actually. I've been really working hard on them. And then you go, well, that's really great. Like you celebrate the fact that that person's worked hard on that skill. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Any questions on that part? Anyone unclear on that? Yeah. I think that's one thing that's really vital, especially in your guys' age, where these kind of beliefs and thoughts and that can really come in. Is that it's that's what you want to see from teachers. That's what you want to see from coaches. That's what you want to see from everyone, to just praise effort and make sure that that's kind of what the focus should be. Because that's if you're getting told that the effort you're putting in is good, that's just going to reinforce the process that we just keep doing those things. Yeah. Here's a good question. Think of a player, let's say like a professional team, who you could imagine kind of exemplifies a growth mindset. And like why? What do you think? Why do they sort of show that?
The Miami Heat, because last season they were like 8th seed and only got into the playoffs through the playing tournament, and no one really expected them to get that far, and they went all the way to the finals. So they ignored what a lot of people were saying.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's good. That's good. A player in particular where you just feel like there's someone that
Damian Lillard was like a really bad pick in the draft, and like in high school he wasn't ranked or anything.
Yeah.
And then like everyone called him like not athletic, too short. I feel like he used it as motivation because he said it in the interview, and he just got better, and now he's like one of the best players probably.
Yeah, that's good. Good one, fair play. Everyone on the team, this would be, I don't know, I'd love to see if you can pick someone out. Is there anyone that like you would be like, oh yeah, this person in this team to me is like kind of the growth mindset kind of person, the person who just works hard? Coaches have to say that.
I feel like Jackson's always really loud and supporting.
Yeah.
Whether
Who's
it's
Jackson?
like,
Oh yeah, unreal. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't expect me to like that.
I was loud too. I was a little bulldog. Yeah.
yeah, whether like he's on the court or if he's off the court, he's always loud and bringing energy, which always boosts your self-esteem and your confidence a bit, because he always just gets around you.
Yeah. Cool. So like his efforts, even when he's not around the ball, is like bringing the team up.
Yeah.
Is that something that he does even when you guys are down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like if you go to the bench like not happy, he'll make sure you get off the bench happy.
Yeah. Unreal.
It's always there for you.
That actually makes me think of Paddy Mills. Has anyone seen what Paddy Mills is like when he's on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So supportive.
Yeah, and he's been like that when he was at Portland, at Spurs, like wherever he goes. He's moved around to a few teams as well lately as well because he's getting old. And he still does it. It doesn't matter. And yeah, I think he's a phenomenal example of a growth mindset because he's not the star player, he's not in the first team ever, maybe at a point when he was at the Spurs, but most of the time he's a bench player. And you could quite easily get into that kind of fixed mindset of, oh God, I've been moved around. I know his last couple of years he's gone from Brooklyn to the Hawks, and where is he now?
I think so, the Hawks, isn't
He's in Miami now. Yeah, so he's moved again. That could be like the sign, like, oh, I'm done, and I'll just fade away. But he's actually doing some pretty cool stuff at Miami now. So, and when he's on the bench, he's just getting around the team. And he doesn't have to do that. So I think that's a pretty cool example. All right, last things. I've got longer than 20, haven't I? This is important. This is for going forward, and so I want you guys to sort of take away how can we incorporate these sort of principles into our like team culture and practices? So training, games, things like that. What's some sort of things that we should do?
Like try and get around your teammates. Like even if it doesn't go right, like if they try and go to a steal and they miss it and they pull it past them, like still get around them because they try to go for it.
Yeah.
Like even when you're having a bad game, because it's easy to be loud and getting around everyone when you're playing well, but it's harder to be positive when you think you're playing really bad.
Yeah, that's good. So get around people for that effort, for going for a steal, even if they foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get them around for that effort. Yeah.
I feel like just approach every game with positivity
Yeah.
and like energy. Like I said, it's like we're just a really strong side when we have a lot of energy. And yeah, I feel like what Ryan said about helping your teammates, because like a lot of us put our heads down, and I feel like if we're there for each other, it'll just be better off for everyone, and it'll have like a really good impact on our game probably.
Yeah.
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 Having each other's backs,
Yeah.
like supporting them.
Yeah. And
Checking
that's not
up
just
on
like in matches too, that's like here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that something you guys can all agree on? It's something that we should do? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Great. I think this next question, you guys have sort of already answered it, but if you can think of anything else, what's some strategies you can use to overcome some setbacks and failures on the court? We've sort of talked about getting around each other a little bit, but is there anything else that we can do?
Just keep your head up, make a mistake.
Yeah, try and keep your head up.
Yeah, if you take a shot, you miss, just, you know, like, hit your leg or something, go, oh, I missed it that time, but I'll make it the next time.
Yeah, yeah,
So like, say like someone says you shit or something, just use that as motivation and like feel to like just prove them wrong.
yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, don't let that sort of belief sink in.
yeah, just make them look wrong.
Yeah. What about in breaks, like timeouts and half time and stuff like that? What can you do when you guys actually get a chance to talk?
Just like reflect on what's happened in the game and what's been working and what hasn't, and then just adjust and then see what happens from there. And if it doesn't work, change it up again, or if it works, try and keep it the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we just have to slow stuff down because like sometimes like a team can go on like a 12-0 run and like everyone's all over the place. I feel like timeouts are mostly like to just slow stuff down and just look at the weakness and make it a strength at the end of the timeout.
Yeah. Well, if you come into a timeout and sort of getting angry and shitting off at the ref and maybe pointing a finger at someone for fucking up, how's that going to help after your timeout? It's not going to help, eh? No. So if you come in and talk about the strategies or whatever we're working on, as well as praising some effort. So you're like, Carter, I know you stuffed that one up there, but keep doing that because that's really working. Like, even though that one didn't work and whatever. Again, back to that process. If we keep doing that thing and you keep doing that thing and you keep blocking and we keep our heads up, then that 12 run's not really going to matter because we're probably going to be able to work that back. If our heads stay down, it's probably going to get worse.
I feel like even like what Darren and Nick say, like if one, say for example me, like sometimes I go into like the bench or timeouts like really mad, and I feel like I don't take consideration of like how that reflects onto my teammates and like their attitude. Because like if you see like one person down, it'll make your whole team just not that good, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to have that moment, like you have your time out, you can have a moment to like just have a drink and be frustrated for a second, but then you should get in and talk about it. What went wrong, what went right, like what are we doing well, yeah? Sometimes we kind of get a little bit kind of like focused on all the deficits, but at the same time we should be also looking at what's good, what efforts are really working and what should we be rewarding as well. So it's not always deficit focused at the same time, because even though something wrong might be happening, it could be one thing, but at the same time there's a lot of things good that are happening on the court at the same time. So that's sort of, again, still part of that kind of mindset strategy. I think that's it. I want to put you with any more questions. There is a book and there's a lot of research that this is all based off. You guys probably don't want to read it, but coaches and parents, the book is called Mindset and it's by a researcher called Carol S. Dweck. I'll probably share it with Darren, but like parents, you guys, if you want to read or audio book or podcast or whatever, it's in a sport context, but any life context, it's a really useful book for that. Parents, definitely, it's very useful for helping your kids in sport as well. For thinking about the type of language to use as well, like after games, before games, and what's going to be like useful for your kids, what's going to be not useful for your kids, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, Mindset by Carol S. Dweck is a really handy book to read. Any questions or thoughts or reflections?
I think it's important to try and like bring energy and get around your teammates like Jackson does, even if you think you're playing bad, because like it's really easy to be all hyped up when you're dropping like 20 or whatever because you're playing well, But if you're coming into a timeout and you've scored 0 and you've got a lot of turnovers or someone got past you really easy, it's a lot harder to be, you know, energetic and be around your teammates.
Yeah.
So it's important to try and like bring energy all the time, even if it's gone bad.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's again like Paul mentioned, we're sort of focusing back on the process. Like we can get upset about the result, which is the outcome, and keep worrying about the outcome and then changing how we play and getting angry and doing all those things. It's not going to fix the outcome for us if we just get back to the process and the things that we work on and improving that and keeping our heads up and supporting. We still might not win, we still might lose, but we're going to give ourselves a much better chance in those situations if we focus on that process. And then if we end up still losing but improving, we can go, okay, sweet, we got ourselves out of the hole today. We didn't quite make that 20-point deficit, but we got out of that hole. How cool is that? If we put our heads down, it would have been 40. So,
Yeah, I think going on for what Ryan did as well, the growth mindset as well, when things aren't going right, it's easy to shut off, and then your teammates are trying to get you up and about, that sort of stuff, but you just sort of just completely shut off. So it's more about just open mindset and all that sort of stuff, and just taking it in, regrouping with the team, and getting more back involved again. I find once we get shut off, individuals, then the whole game's sort of, we're shut off. We don't come back to the team. Makes sense, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. How much time have you got?
We go from 9:30.
Oh, you got heaps of time. Oh, you got heaps of it. But no, yeah, I hope you guys keep working on that and keep it in discussions on that as well. It's good to sort of stop, and especially at this age, we can just keep training and training and training, but it is really handy to stop and have a chat sometimes and check in with what's going on and what we can do to improve, and keeping that mindset in mind as well.
I think for us, hearing what you guys are hard on yourselves for are things that I don't know about Nick, it's quite surprising that where you question yourselves are things that we would never question you for. So it's only the pressure you're putting on yourselves. And it's, shoot is shoot. Just keep backing yourselves because we back you.
I was very surprised I couldn't give everyone an answer, but then what came into the mouths was something I didn't have ready for them. So it was very surprising to hear. It was good.
Yeah. It's nice to know, I'm glad you guys all shared that sort of kind of fix the limiting belief. It's not hard to do, that's something that you usually keep to yourself and you don't want to share because it's something that you might feel a bit ashamed about or embarrassed about or whatever. So it's now that you see you're not the only person that feels that way about something in your game, it helps make you guys feel a bit more comfortable with each other, helps you guys trust each other a bit more too, and it helps you know, you've got that issue, I'm going to get around you when you're working on that issue. And when you make the mistake of the thing that gets you down, I'm going to be the first person to come over and let you know that, don't worry, just keep going. You keep at it, you'll get it.
What do we say?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
very nice of you.
Great.
So as a start, if anyone's got any questions that you don't want to raise here, or you've thought about afterwards, or I should have said that, or anything like that, either hit up your parents, hit up Nick and I, and we can pass it on to Stu, or anything like that. Or if you want to see Stu privately, by all means, we're happy to facilitate that as well. Cool?
Cool.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.